like to call the special meeting of the Lord Selkirk West Kildonan Community Committee to order at 2:11 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm Councillor Ross Eady from the Mynarski Ward, and I'll be your chairperson today. And I would like to start off by acknowledging the land acknowledgement. We are here, meeting here on Treaty 1 land, the traditional home of the Ojibwe, Innu, Dakota peoples, and the homeland of the Red River Métis. We receive our water from Shoal Lake 40 in Treaty 3 territory. With me as well today, we have, right at the moment, we have Councillor Sharma from the Old Kildonan Ward. And my colleague, Councillor Santos, will be with us probably shortly. We also have from the public service, we have with us Ms. Simi Jerez, who's a planner with property and development, as well as we have our most excellent senior clerk, Peter Princely, community clerk, sorry. And we have delegations.
We do, yes. But before we begin, we will need a motion to add an additional delegate, Mr. Mark Funk, to be heard on the second plan approval.
I'll suspend the rules to hear Mark Funk.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nobody's opposed. That is carried. Thank you.
All right, so then our first delegate is Mr. Evan Hansen, Principal Architect, Affinity Architecture, Inc., to be heard in support of plan approval 2730 to 2750 King Edward Street, which is report 1 on our agenda today. You can just go ahead and unmute yourself there.
There you go. Hi, committee members. Thanks for the opportunity to speak to you today. As mentioned, my name is Evan Hansen from Affinity Architecture. I don't know if you want me to go through the full presentation again. I'm here to follow up on a plan approval that was laid over, or I guess that's the term, in the last meeting.
Why don't you have 5 minutes and then we'll have questions.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Chair. For the public record, I agree. Please, I would like to hear the presentation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I'll share. I'll just reference the drawings that were submitted for the application. I'll share my screen now. Okay, so we have here at the northwest corner of King Edward and Commercial Street, a 6-story apartment building with 99 dwelling units and surface parking. At the last plan approval meeting, we had 149 surface parking stalls, which is a 1.5 to 1 ratio, but we found an opportunity at the last meeting to add a few extra stalls to take some pressure off the community. So those stalls, there's 3 extras. So in this version of the drawings, we now have 152 parking stalls, which is a 1.54 to 1 parking stall to dwelling unit ratio. So in this,
Mark, could I just ask a question, Mr. Chair? That's quite important. Yeah, just in terms of your revised plan, did you share it with the planner?
yes, we did.
Okay.
I missed that detail, so there is an increase.
Okay. All right, thank you. If you could specifically point out where this new parking is.
Sure, it's in this area right here. So previously we had a pass-through where the stalls or the cars could move from the main drive aisle here into the parking at the back. And so we had 2 of those to access the parking at the back, and we decided in response to the request to add more stalls, fill in one of those drive aisles with additional small car parking stalls.
So there's no more drive aisle there, correct?
Correct.
Okay. How do you drive around this site then? Actually, I'll let you make your presentation, then we'll get into it. Go ahead.
Sure, yeah, there's access through to the back parking through this pass through here. Okay. you can see that the building is aligned to King Edward Street or moved fairly close to King Edward Street to define a more urban edge, and the parking is located behind the building. And there's a buffer of 8 feet, I believe it is, between the fence and the parking lot, and the fence, of course, separates the lower density housing that's to the west of us. Amenities that are visible are in this plan are a fitness area, a multi-purpose room, and a swimming pool within the building. I'll just flip to the elevations now. So as I mentioned earlier, it's a 6-story building, and it has fiber cement siding in a variety of colors, including white, gray, charcoal gray, and wood look fiber cement. So there's a variety of dwelling unit types in this building. There's 27% 1 bedrooms, 55% 2 bedrooms, and 17% 3 bedrooms. In terms of accessibility, the building is accessible in the common areas throughout, and each dwelling unit has a wider door, and into the dwelling unit, a wider door into at least one of the bathrooms in order to accommodate people with mobility challenges. And there would be at least one fully barrier-free universal toilet room in the building attached to the fitness area. And then we meet or exceed all the landscape requirements on the site with trees and shrubs. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Question? Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. The one barrier-free unit, Evan, is that new since your last presentation?
No, I said one universal toilet room, which would be barrier-free, and that would be in the common area. The rest of the units have the same level of barrier-free provisions as were previous.
Okay. Right. Now, in terms of the additional parking, so you've added 3 spots, was it?
Correct.
Okay. And on this plan, like, let's stay with this one because the other one looks like a sea of asphalt and it's very difficult to make heads or tails of the page 2 presentation.
Okay.
1, point 2 where the 3 new stalls are.
Sure.
Yeah, just right in there.
These 3 right here. Yeah.
Are they the last 3 or no? They're right there. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you can sort of see the pass through was in this drive out.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right. And how do people enter into this site from commercial?
From commercial, there's an approach here.
Right.
And then from King Edward, there's an approach at this end.
King Edward. Okay. And what was the thinking of having the drive aisle in the first place? Just to make it easier to get in there?
Yeah, it was, I guess, providing a little bit more access to this parking at the back.
Is there any need to check? Did you hear from the planner on this or anyone else in zoning?
I believe that they reviewed it as part of the process. The zoning development officer reviewed it.
Okay.
And there was an opportunity also originally when we talked at the last plan approval, I had originally thought about putting the parking stalls here and then having the pass through here in this location. But I thought given that it was so close to the approach, it might cause some congestion. So having this pass through to the back parking lot in the middle of the site, I thought would be better for flow of traffic throughout the site and from Commercial Avenue.
On the right-hand side, what are those 2 little squares? The white squares, keep going to the right. Yeah, is that garbage? Is that
Garbage enclosure.
garbage enclosure? Okay. So the only pass-through is in the middle, correct?
Through the entire site, yes, it would be.
Yeah, to go to the back area is through the middle, right?
Direction. Oh yeah, to the back areas through here.
Are all of these stalls the same size or some wider?
They are, well, the barrier-free stalls are wider. So we've got 5 barrier-free stalls, I believe it. Yeah, and 2 of those are van accessible stalls.
Have you designated some stalls specifically for visitor?
We have, yeah, there's 15 visitor stalls. They're not designated on the landscape plan, but it's, there's one barrier-free stall here that's a visitor stall, and then there's 14 over here that are visitor stalls.
Do the visitor stalls have prime parking?
Yes.
You may change that, I guess.
Yeah, it'll, I guess, depend on the operation of the building, and perhaps they'll determine that they want the actual residents to have those stalls.
Because you could put visitors by the, straight through the middle drive aisle, right in the front, like at the back. Through the drive aisle and at the back.
Okay.
It's just a suggestion because other folks are in and out daily.
Mm-hmm.
Visitors are once in a while, right? Because often what happens, human nature, the people that live there are going to try to use them to just go run in and get something
Mm-hmm.
and come back out, right? It happens. And who's sort of policing that?
Okay. Well, I'd imagine that the property manager might do that, and
Yeah, I doubt they're out there 24/7. But
Mhm.
yeah, so that's just something to be mindful of because I'm sure I've done it in the past when I was younger, right? We go for the easy thing. So we go park at the front, and that means if a visitor comes, they don't know where to park, and then they're on the street and there's no parking on the street, or we're plugging up Councillor Santos's residential streets, right?
okay, yes.
Just keep in mind that's something we've learned here as well. We've heard this kind of feedback.
Okay, I'll pass that along to the developer, and he can monitor that.
Yeah, and it could also be when you first enter off King Edward, because the address is actually King Edward, correct?
Yes, it is.
So maybe off the approach and going to the right there. You know what I mean? When you enter
Sure.
to the right.
I noted that. Thanks.
Okay. I appreciate you making an effort to add parking. So you're amenable to this plan being approved in the first one that you proposed last month, correct? Either one?
Yes, either one.
Is there anything else that's changed in this proposal since last month?
Only that there was some landscape that was filled in where the pass-through used to be.
What about benches? Are there any for pickup and drop off?
No, there's no benches.
Where is the nearest park in the area?
Well, there is a school that's across the street on the southwest corner of the intersection, so that's a possibility for recreation. And there's also active transportation path just north of this site that leads to a park on the northwest, close to one of the retention ponds.
Right, I think there's a park west of this that's going to be sodded soon.
Okay.
That's my understanding. What about in the front? There's a lot of green space, is there not?
Yes, there's quite a bit of green space. Even on our site, we've met the 25-foot setback. So there's an opportunity for trees and shrubs and some lawn. And what you're seeing here is a portion of King Edward that's destined for future expansion of King Edward Street.
Maybe some benches would be good in that area.
Okay.
Larger, I guess there's larger trees there, correct?
Yes, there are.
Yeah. And the sun would be coming there, I guess, in the evening that way, correct?
That's east, so it would be the mornings.
Well, okay, so you'd be amenable to adding, people do like to sit outside. They feel confined in their apartment.
Mhm.
Have an amenity room that's inside,
Yes.
which is good. But I think benches are always a good idea. Otherwise, we're just trying to figure out how to add them later.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, where do you think you would add them?
I think probably adjacent to the amenity room would be nice in this area. That way they're not encroaching on people's balconies on the main floor. So
Right,
still maintain some privacy for those people that have their balconies facing King Edward.
right. Okay, and the amenity room has the indoor pool?
It's a separate room, but yeah, there is an indoor pool right? in this
Oh,
area.
yes, right there. That would be quite nice to have some space to sit outside. What is that, the gray area, what is that? Mulch or,
Yeah, mulch bed.
okay. Okay. I know you're still designing in the internal plans, I understand. I did speak with the developer. You're still designing the amenity space, are you?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe that's something there could be, because where would the doors be to come out from the amenity space?
Well, if you wanted to access the exterior space, there's an opportunity, I think, to put doors on these walls.
Yeah, you could put a patio there a little bit, right? You could
Yep.
have, but I don't know how those are sort of minor adjustments. I'm looking at our planner who's nodding that you can just tweak later. Yeah.
Certainly.
That's a good, people like to be outside, right?
Mhm.
And when we can. And that would
Especially in
be,
this climate.
yeah, that would be a good opportunity to put some doors there and then so you can spill out into that area as well.
Okay.
Okay, very good. And I did speak with the developer. He was willing to share those internal plans because these community rooms, we have the ability to help with things like yoga mats and a variety of, different things that might be needed.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We'd like to connect with you and them later to see these plans.
Okay.
Okay,
Definitely do that.
very good. Thank you. Thank you, Evan.
Thank you
Appreciate
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, okay. Next delegation.
Next, we have Mark Funk to be heard in support of plan approval, Fernbank Avenue, lot 26, block 4, plan 72400, which is report 2 on our agenda today.
You in person?
Yes.
Well, we have 5 minutes for you to make your presentation.
All right. Good afternoon. I just want to thank PP&D and Lord Selkirk West Kildonan Community Committee for accommodating us, getting us into this special meeting.
That's not PP&D, it's just us.
Oh.
But thank you.
Well, thank you to PP&D as well. So yeah, we think this is a big step towards getting us in the ground in 2026. And we think this will be a great project for the community. We are very excited to see it come to fruition. So as you might know, we have also applied for plan approval on the property to the east, which is known as lot 25 right now. And these two properties will be developed as a community of multifamily buildings.
Do you have a presentation?
I don't, sorry.
Okay, you got a huge project here, but no presentation for us today.
Right, sorry.
Okay, that's number one at these meetings. Have you ever presented to committee before?
Yes. Do you not have the drawings or?
We do, yeah.
So yeah, as you can see on the site plan, just having the two properties together allows us to have easy access throughout the entire site with a nice ring road that accesses all the buildings and lets traffic flow through easily. It also allows us to share the amenities between all 4 buildings that will be there. As you can see on the site plan, one of the main features of the project is this big central courtyard in the middle of that ring road, and also a dedicated amenities building. You can also see that there is not much parking outside on that grade level. This is very much our intent. By having the majority of the parking indoors and underground, we are able to provide plenty of space between the buildings for outdoor amenities such as bocce ball, pickleball, a leash dog run, putting greens, and lots of space for outdoor gathering. Each building will have its own small-scale amenities such as fitness rooms, multi-purpose rooms, and bike parking, but they will also have access to the central amenities building, which will house a large fitness center, large gathering areas, bowling lanes, golf simulators, and theater rooms. The outdoor parking that you see will be reserved for visitor parking to keep parking off the streets. This property is zoned RMFM, and we have abided by all zoning requirements requiring no variances. Rockport, which is the owner of the land, or soon to be, is firmly committed to not overbuilding its properties and having minimal impact on the surrounding neighborhoods. We are in fact going over and above the zoning bylaw requirements by providing 1.65 parking stalls per unit, over double the amount of shrub plantings required, and also over double the amount of trees required. The two buildings on lot 26 will provide 179 dwelling units of various sizes ranging from around 700 feet squared to 1,200 feet squared, and it'll also include 27 affordable suites. As part of the zoning agreement, as you can see towards the south of the page, we have a large 45-foot rear yard facing the single-family properties. And to further minimize our buildings' impact on the neighbors and to break up their massing, we have removed large areas of the top floors and we use those spaces to create roof patios. Furthermore, we'll have planters placed along the southern edges of those patios, which will create privacy buffers, restricting views of the neighbors from the roof patios. The buildings themselves have been carefully designed to provide a unique addition to the landscape of the neighborhood, complete with high-quality metal and stone finishes, large windows and balconies, and a variety of colors and textures. It cannot be overstated that Rockport's goal with this development is to help create a beautiful, vibrant community that attracts people to the area. So that's all. And if you have any questions, I would be able to answer.
You have questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the presentation, Mark. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in person. Just next time, if you could please bring a PowerPoint.
Sure.
It's, as you noticed in the presentation before, you were in the gallery, we're not architects. We're not in the construction business. So it does help to point at various things and walk us through it, because otherwise it's just a lot of words we're hearing. We do have plans, but it's easier when you're running through the presentation that way.
Understood.
Okay. So in these two buildings, one is 89 units and one is 90?
Correct.
Okay. And so this is a large project, but what's being proposed here is just coming for plan approval for half of it. And the other half will be at a later time. And we've done this often in large projects in the Northwest Winnipeg, because as you stated, you don't want to overbuild here. And that's important because parking, there's a lot of congestion around parking. It is a car city. We have no bus service here. So, and I'm saying some of this for my colleagues. So later on, this is my preference to see half of it as plan approval this time. And then that way the developer can tweak to their needs depending on what they learn from the first phase here. And in speaking with Lee Kirk at Rockport Commercial, he did tell me that's what they do in other areas of the city. They have built part of the development and then made some minor tweaks, which is very smart. So that's what we're seeing here today. The amenity building is quite nice. It's all by itself and you have to go outside to get there.
Not true. Actually, you
No?
can go through the parkade to get there.
Okay. But it's not connected to the building, right? You go outside?
No, you go down, like you could take the elevator down to the parkade and walk over to.
Oh, the underground parkade. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes, there's underground parking here. And what is in the amenity space? You mentioned some things, bowling alley.
So like on the main floor, it would be like a large gathering space, kind of like just a very large multi-purpose room. There'll also be a mezzanine with a fitness center. That will be quite large as well.
Great.
And then in the basement level, there will be bowling lanes, theater rooms, and golf simulators.
Great. Has that been all drawn out as well, the amenity space, or not quite yet?
Not in detail, no.
Okay, good. And I'll link with the developer and yourself. I'd like to at a later time. I may have a little bit of input that might be valuable. And we also want to help support when folks move in and help us in programming if we can, just to get things kicked off, because we find that it's just launching it and then it takes on a life of their own where people become little lieutenants in these buildings and they have ideas and start doing some of the programming that brings a real sense of connection to the people that live here. Okay, I like the drive aisle. And speaking with our planner, we're chatting about this prior to the meeting. There's a little bit of, I don't know what you call it in architect speak, but it juts in a bit. So you've got the lanes, but you've got this, what do you call that?
You mean like the drop-off areas?
Yeah,
or-
the drop off area. Exactly.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you. That people don't usually have, but you put it in here because otherwise it's just plugging up and people are in the wrong lane, right? So you can park there to drop off, pick up. Sure. And are there any benches in and around that area to, if you're waiting outside for your ride?
Not currently, no. There's certainly a space to put them in.
Where would the space be? Because I see you have the balcony as well, so you don't want to get in the way of the balconies there, right?
Yeah, I would like each drop-off area has a large sidewalk leading to the building. I would say just like right off the side of that
Sure.
thicker sidewalk there.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't impede accessibility. Maybe that's something you want to look at.
Sure.
And the amenity space, you have a circular brown area. What is that? Is that a patio?
Yeah, that is just a large patio. It's easier to see when you have both sides, both properties.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a patio, and then further to the right where it's just gray on the site plan, that's like pickleball courts, putting greens, those types of.
I don't
Outdoor.
follow that pickleball area. Do you see that, Counselor?
It's
see
not
the
on these
hockey
drawings.
ball.
It'll be when we go for the next plan approval.
Oh, okay. It's in the gray space. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Pickleball outside?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. That's North America's fastest growing sport, as you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry. I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, but I'm getting so excited by this whole, there's so much to look at. So the patio area has, say that again?
It'll have like tables, chairs, umbrellas.
Okay, good. And we always want to keep in mind accessibility, so we're not sticking things so close together you can't even move, right? Yeah, accessibility is super important. Councillor Reedy and I sat on the City of Winnipeg's Access Advisory Committee for many years, and he was the chairperson, so it's important, important topic.
For sure.
Now, the amenity building, is it also on the other side, or is it only going to be here for both lots?
It's not directly connected to the other side, but they will have access.
Sure.
They'll be able to walk to it.
Good, and you're not going to have two of them. You don't need it, just one amenity building. Okay, and the parking that you mentioned, the ratio, if you can
Yes,
tell us again.
1.65 stalls per unit.
And how many parking stalls again?
Total,
Yes,
295.
that's for this 80 and 90, yeah.
Yeah.
And how many are underground?
268.
So a lot of them. Well, 268 underground. Great,
So you got that big backyard.
okay, very good. Why did you have so much parking here? I mean, that's good, like, you had that from the beginning?
Yep. Yeah. It's one of Rockport's goals is to get people and keep them there, keep them happy. One thing we've noticed is people really like their indoor parking,
Yes.
and when it's in short supply, then becomes an issue. And people also like their green space, so keeping the parking indoors, it creates that outdoor space.
Very good. Now, yeah, go ahead.
I'm just trying to get a sense of it. So Burnbank's close to the city limits, but so at the back of the property, I'm assuming that's the north side of the property. What's gonna be behind there? Will there be like a back lane, or is it directly adjacent to other proposed housing units?
If you mean on the south side, The properties to the south are single family.
Oh, so your rear yard's at the south side?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, pardon me.
No, that's okay. And by the zoning agreement, we were required to do a 45-foot setback. So it's all landscaped in between. There's kind of a leashed dog area. It's not fenced in or anything. Just kind of a run around with your dog area.
Okay, and so the property is on the south side of the one you're planning for, is that multifamily as well?
No, those are single family.
Single home, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 45 feet, that's good.
When you do the next phase, I think it's important to do some consultation because there doesn't hurt to show people the plans in the community. They do live around there already. There's housing. So that's something you might want to keep in mind. In the gray area, is that garbage enclosures at the bottom?
Yes.
Okay. And it's near the patio area, so I think you will cover it nicely though, right?
Yeah.
The sides, what are the plans?
Yeah. There's landscaping all around there.
And you'll have some patio, like you have your patio area, benches and all of that in that green area, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Anything going on in the rooftop?
On the rooftop patios, just mainly sitting areas.
So there's rooftop on top of the building?
It's a flat roof.
Okay.
And so on the 6th floor, we've kind of taken out where some suites are, take them out, and then that's where the roof patios are. So they kind of set into the building.
Nice. So some suites will be here and then they'll be enclosed suites and then you'll have open patio.
Right.
Nearby, and who gets to use that? Everyone?
Yep.
Okay, nice. I don't think I've seen that anywhere in the area yet.
No, I think it's starting to become, in your area, I think it's becoming a bit of a trend now.
Good. Okay, very good.
Good.
What's the different colors? Blue, purple, green? Is it the
Um,
sweet mix? Or-
It's mainly like a blue, black, and wood combination.
No, I mean on your site plan, you've got different.
Oh,
colors,
yeah,
right?
those are just the different suite types.
Yes. Okay, the 2-bedroom versus.
Yeah.
Do you have
there's
1, 2, and 3
1,
bedrooms?
2, and 3,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's 3 bedrooms are popular as well. So all the buildings are connected underground, are they?
These two are there. Right now, there's a space between the two arcades. Like maybe we could do a tunnel of some sort. We haven't figured that out, but
Might not be needed, right?
yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay, good. Just 1 second, just Mr. Chair, I'm looking at something and you wanna ask your own questions?
I have no more questions. No? Okay.
Okay, just 1 moment, please.
Oh.
Now, the affordable units, is it 15% that you have?
Yes.
Yeah, about 15%. Can you share more about the level of affordability? What are the thoughts? Do you know?
Is it 20%? Less than.
They're all $100.
Oh. Right. So yeah, the suites, they're going to be rented out at $1,100.
CMHC
Right.
guideline, I guess, yeah. Very good. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Please, I want to see the amenity space. I want to talk about that if you can convey the message.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Right on.
Thank you.
Thanks for working with our planning department closely.
Our next delegation is the one we suspended the rules for.
No, that was Mr. Funk. So that concludes our delegations for today.
That concludes our delegations. Okay. So we're gonna move on to the reports. So report number 1 is 2530 to what? 25?
2730 to 2750 King
Oh,
Edward.
27. Plan approval. So do you have questions, Councillor
I
Sharma,
was hoping-
of Ms. Riss?
Well, maybe there's her own summary and questions or anything you heard you want to comment on.
I apologize for not catching the change to the drive aisle.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I apologize for not catching that change to the drive aisle before I was focused on the visitor parking. And in that location, it works well compared to what the applicant had suggested as a possibility last time.
Okay.
So we have no concerns. We're supportive of that.
Is there
And that's
any issues with emergency vehicles or?
It doesn't appear so because the bigger issue was the congestion near and directing so much of the traffic for the rear of the site for those parking stalls to that so close to the approach on Commercial Drive. But in that location, it should be fine. If there is anything flagged at permit stage with emergency services, then we can address that
Sure.
at that point. But so far, we're supportive of the application as proposed. We did provide a summary last time, so I think I'll refrain from doing so again.
Okay, thank you. And as you say, well, the parking spots seem to, appear to be in a better spot than they were last time, the additional spots.
Yes.
And it just means people aren't racing around either. It's slowing things down perhaps a bit. Okay, you know what? I know it seems small, 3 spots, but it's a big deal when there isn't a lot of on-street parking. So, okay, I'm pleased with the work and I thank them for coming back with an option.
Right, Councillor Schroeder.
I'd like to move approval of this plan approval, Mr. Chair, as presented. There were the benches though, they were gonna add some benches. Mr. Chair, and I think that was just noted on the public record, Madam Planner, correct?
That's right.
And they'll do that.
And we can
It's a good idea.
change that administratively rather than bringing it.
Sure, I'm not going to tell them where to put them because we'll leave it open-ended and I think they'll do the right thing and they can certainly share that with us. Okay, and I'm excited about this corner being developed. The building has a nice presence at the corner. It's orientated both straight edges and it screens the parking from view, the way they presented it to us here today. We heard about the school coming to the area, so it's going to be a good amenity to have additional housing in this neighborhood. We've also heard about the Sikh temple that's very close to this property, and that will be expanding. And I think it's nice for seniors to be close to the temple amenity. Yeah, they've got a good amenity space that they're proposing. There's the pool inside, and we talked a little bit about expectations around perhaps a patio, and I look forward to working with them on that. And just on that note, Madam Planner, that's okay to leave that open-ended as well. I mean, it's that patio area just coming off the buildings. I think they can work on that amongst themselves, and I'd be happy to look at it as well. It's good to add this component of multifamily to the area, Mr. Chair, so I'm very happy with the plans as presented.
Okay.
I'd like to move approval.
Yep. Any comments, Councillor Santos, before I move? Okay. Yeah, it's great. All of the properties around there are getting built and completed, so I'll call the question in. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nobody's opposed. That is carried. Thank you. Now, report item 2. Another exciting development.
Hear from our planner, if there's anything further. This is the first time we're hearing this project.
Would you like a full
Sure.
overview? Okay. This site is located on the south side of Fernbank Avenue at the southeast corner of Ferrier Street. Per the Precinct G secondary plan, these lands are designated under the medium density residential policy area. The site zoned residential multifamily medium. It is approximately 143,000, well, actually just shy of 144,000 square feet in area, and it's irregular in geometry. The proposal includes 2 multifamily buildings on lot 26. This is the first phase of a multifamily development, which will span 2 lots, which includes lot 25 to the east of this site. Overall, there would eventually be 4 residential buildings with a total of 358 units. These 2 buildings provide 179 units. They're They're arranged along the periphery of the site around an internal roadway and an amenities building, as well as outdoor amenity space and visitor parking located in the center of the site. Each of the proposed buildings includes a mix of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units, with 90 units proposed for the north side building and 89 units proposed for the south side building. Each of the proposed buildings would be 69 feet in height, 6 stories. As outlined, each building has 2 large roof patios on the 6th level, on the top level, facing the property lines, and this would help reduce the massing of the building overall. And these patios incorporate some screening to create some privacy from adjoining properties or for adjoining properties as well. I didn't note it here, but the applicant also provided a diagram showing for the 45-degree angular plane. So to show that they've considered the impact of the massing on surrounding buildings, and as they met the requirement in the zoning agreement to provide generous rear yard setback of 45 feet, minimum of 45 feet or more to the single family properties. The ferry and fernbank setbacks to the street edges are 25 feet and well landscaped. The applicant also provided sun shadow studies and indicated that the hours of use for the roof patios would be limited and on a reservation basis to mitigate the impact on neighboring properties. The drawings show well-glazed buildings clad with stone veneer, smooth and corrugated metal cladding, mixed palette of black iron or aluminum cashmere, which is a light beige, and wood grain as well. Vehicular access to the site is from an approach on Fernbank. Plans show 295 parking spaces for the 179 units. As mentioned, that's a 1 unit to 1.65 parking space ratio. That includes the 27 outdoor visitor parking spaces and 268 underground parking spaces. There are 4 designated accessible parking spaces located indoors and another 4 provided outdoors, including 2 van accessible spaces. The applicant is also providing secure bike parking in the parking garage for 42 bikes and a number of bike parking stalls outside for a total of 70 bike parking spaces. I'll note that just in short with regard to landscaping, by providing that resident parking underground, the applicant has been able to provide that large central courtyard with that indoor amenities building and outdoor amenity space, as well as a lot of outdoor green space. It's a nicely landscaped site and has a number of great amenities for the residents as well. And so we've recommended approval of the plans as proposed.
Thank you. Okay. And any issues with the benches that we talked about?
No issues there. There appears to be plenty of space to add those there.
Appreciate the back and forth the applicant had with you, Madam Planner. I had good feedback from you. I spoke with them as well initially when they first reached out, which is very good. It's nice to speak right away if we can and sort of set the tone for expectations on both sides. So, Mr. Chair, I'm going to move approval as submitted. I look forward to the next phase coming forward as well, and maybe the applicant sharing the design with the folks that live around there. It can't hurt. We have offered appropriate setbacks in that, but it's nice for residents to know exactly what's coming near them. I'd like to move the plans as submitted. This is a very exciting build in the Highland Point area. Love the fact that they have underground parking and plenty of it. They've done a nice job designing this building at a very prominent corner in the development. And they have affordable housing that's incorporated into the plan. We're always looking for a variety of housing types. They've been very good to talk to in terms of the amenities that they want to offer the community. And they've learned from projects they've done elsewhere. They'll be doing some of the same things, and obviously, naturally, we do different things as well. So look forward to seeing this evolve. I'm assuming the construction timeline is going to be in the next so many months. So if they would like to invite us out to sod turning perhaps, and to come see the site, look forward to that. So move the plans as submitted. I'll call the question.
Okay. No comments from Councillor Santos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nobody's opposed. That is carried.
I'll move adjournment.
All right, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Nobody's opposed to that either.